And welcome back, one and all. Welcome back to Sometime with WWF No Mercy for the N64. A game that was released in 2000 and is still probably rated as one of the best wrestling games released for the system. It's made by the ACI Corporation and is pretty damn good. We're emulating this, and as you can see, emulation isn't perfect. But anyway, in this video we are going to play a Royal Rumble. To add some extra depth to it and challenge, we're going to have knockouts and first blood on, just to make it a bit more varied so it's not all ring outs. And we are going to play as my lovely custom character, which I knocked up in about 5 minutes. Everyone will be randomised, and everything is also unlocked. Because of course they've got to trot Andre the Giant out for every single bloody game they ever made. So to give you some background, this came out in the EU in December of 2000. That had been a really good year in WWF terms. I mean, we had the Royal Rumble in January, which had one of my favourite matches of all time in it, being Cactus Jack versus Triple H. And this is my era of WWF. I had sort of dipped in and out before that because of ECW, and this is the sort of point that I really enjoyed it. My main problem with the game is when I got it, and when a lot of people got it, unfortunately, the game was broken. It would actually wipe your save games, so you'd lose all the carriages unlocked, you'd just lose everything. And they just stood there and shrugged their shoulders when you wanted a replacement. Back then, we just got a refund, and I think it took them a year to actually bring out a fixed copy, at least where I live. So, anyway, as mentioned, this is by the ACI or ACI Corporation, however you want to say it. It has the fantastic grappling system which they implemented in other games such as WrestleMania 2000 and the WCW games, and it's pretty damn perfect. And as you can see, as far as I'm concerned, it emulates pretty well. And of course, we're watching the amazingly well done FMVs, which of course the N64 was known for. Oh god, Mark Henry. I remember when he had that weird relationship with Mae Young and she gave birth to a hand. As much as I say like WWE is daft now, it really was daft then. We've also got Test in the ring, who is also dead. A lot of the people we're going to see in this video are dead, not counting Andre the Giant, but again, like I said, they like to bring him out for random wrestling games. Is he actually saying that Andre the Giant's even in... I've played a little bit of 2K14, and he's even in that, although at least his presence in that is a bit more understandable. Okay. Oh, fuck off, Mark Henry. Right, I think you're going to be the first person I try and eliminate. This custom character I've made, I haven't done too much work on. Essentially, he's got no defense, he's got a lot of attack. Just celebrate. Right, I thought we were going to try and get rid of The Rock as fast as possible. As far as I'm concerned, this was probably at The Rock's peak, when he was feuding a lot with Triple H. We can get rid of him straight away. So yeah, I haven't done a lot of editing on this character. I've changed some of the strong grapple moves. I've changed his strong attack because I obviously want something that can get people out of the ring. And that's really about it. Devon Dudley. I actually really liked this era because the Dudley Boys hadn't long been in the WWF and they were doing this whole feud with the Hardys and Edge and Christian. It was all based around tables, ladders and chairs. It was actually quite an exciting time to watch the Tag Team Championships because they really devolved into a lot of people getting slammed through tables. I actually preferred the Dudleys in this than I did in ECW as well for some reason. ECW, they were always the bad guys, but in this, they seem to be the lovable underdogs. Oh, God's sake, come on. I really shouldn't have picked a fight with Andre the Giant. And now I'm going to pay for it. I should also specify, I'm playing this on normal difficulty. I once upon a time could do this on expert. Bye-bye, Andre. But no way in hell am I going to do it now. That music's familiar. Bradshaw. This was during the Acolyte Protection Agency days. Because the Undertaker had buggered off and they dropped the whole Ministry of Darkness thing by this point. And the Acolytes were actually quite fun. It's sort of weird as well, sort of like 2000, 2001 I really enjoyed WWF, and then I guess I just grew out of it, or I decided that the stories was getting a bit silly. Oh, fuck off, Bradshaw. Not that the stories hadn't already been silly. I mean, again, I was quite happy to sit through Mae Young giving birth to a bloody hand. Right, really sorry, Bradshaw, but for the purposes of this video, you're going eliminated. That could only be the sound of Stevie Richards doing his right to censor movement. They really fucked up Stevie Richards. I actually really liked the whole Blue World Order thing in ECW, and then of course the WWF got their hands on him and did this to him. Again, he went from being the lovable underdog to being the person you hated. What this game actually as well really shows off... Ooh, I'm too close to the ropes. Fuck off, test. What it really shows off is actually how small the roster is. You'll see this probably throughout the recording. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a lot of the unlocked characters come through. And you'll quickly realise that they've padded it out. Considering the wealth of different personalities they've got access to, they bring out pretty much every single McMahon is in this game. Really? You can put Andre the Giant in as a secret character, and you can't do a lot of the other people? Now, I can understand as well that the WWF don't hold the rights to, or at least at this point, don't hold the rights to everything. I mean, like, for example, they can't exactly bring out Hulk Hogan, especially as the guy at this time was working for WCW. But still, I find it a bit odd. Okay, let's try and get Devon out of the ring. We've got 27 more people to get through, so... Nice slam there. It's actually really weird. I've only picked this up again probably yesterday or the day before. And the controls are forever sort of buried into my brain. I actually prefer this a lot more than the SmackDown games to the PS2. Even though the SmackDown games are a lot quicker and people... If you played PS2 at this time and you saw this, you thought this looked crap. But I think it's a much better game. It's a lot more proficient as well. Which actually reminds me, I do need to try and complete the original... is it SmackDown 2 for the PS2 at some point? I've always meant to, and I never got around to it. Just kick Steve Richards in the back of the head. It's what he deserves. Aha! Reversal. But... unlike the SmackDown games, moves will not throw characters out of the ring. Now let's see if I can remember how to do this. There we go. Steel is special, and that is the Stevie kick. It was probably called something else when he was doing right to censor. And then as this guy's special, I think this is not a Fire Thunder driver. I think that's Rikishi's finisher. And I'll just have to do my back special on test. Okay, we need to get a move on and start eliminating. Stevie's busy. Maybe I can get Test out of the ring. Nope. Run away. And I backed right into that one. Oh, fuck off, Devon. And no, cheers to that, Stevie. So this Sometime With is actually going to be more the trip down memory lane about wrestling, probably more than the game. The game's very self-explanatory. You can do weak grapples, strong grapples, weak attacks and strong attacks. You can also do reversals, you can do moves from the turnbuckle, there are weapons. Obviously, because we're doing the Royal Rumble, if we go out the ring we lose, but oh well. Oh my good god, Hardcore Holly. When I used to watch WWF, Hardcore Holly was always... he wasn't a jobber, but he was always competent, but they never really pushed him that far. I mean, I remember, and I'm sure I'm remembering this right, where he took Al Snow outside and hit him with a stop sign. And here we go with the filler content. Now, I can understand why they put the McMahons in here, because they were actually appearing in some matches. But due to the wealth of the roster that you've got available, you choose to do this. And unfortunately, this is after the point where we had a load of WCW people show up in the WWF, but the ECW guys hadn't shown up yet, because that didn't happen until more 2001. So we don't have people like Raven, we don't have Rhino, We don't have Tommy Dream or Just Incredible. But you can make Raven, so maybe he had turned up by this point, but they didn't have time to put him into the game properly.
Eliminated.
This is another man, isn't it? And now we've got Vince. What's actually quite weird is they actually really tried with Vince because he's got the Max Stunner, which is his pathetic version of the Stone Cold Stunner. That's another thing as well. Stone Cold's in this game, and from memory, he had hardly been in it all of this year. So they just put him in for the sake of it. Here we go then, Shawn Michaels. I know fuck all about Shawn Michaels, really, because he was never in it for all the time I was watching. I think he turned up to referee, I want to say Triple H versus The Undertaker. Or do I mean that? No, I don't mean that at all. I want to say he was refereeing The Rock versus Triple H at Armageddon?
Eliminated.
So, why they put him in, I don't know. So yeah, here we go. Stone Cold Steve Austin. The guy that was hit by a car, and that's apparently why he wasn't in it that time. It was actually Rikishi driving. He turns up and then blows up the DX tour bus. And just steal his finisher for the sake of it. Never really been someone I like, and if memory serves, he was actually done a couple of years ago, well I say a couple of years ago, for beating up his wife Deborah. Alright, let's try and get rid of you. Bye bye Stone Cold.
Eliminated.
This is Edge or Christian. It's Christian. Again, never really a fan, because let's face it, if you pair them off with the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys, I always will prefer the Hardys and Dudleys because they actually were a lot more extreme in their movements. But Edge and Christian weren't too bad. They were with, oh god, what was his name? Gangrel. Now that was a bloody terrible decision on the WWF's part. Oh, let's have a vampire. X-PAC. Not a bad wrestler. Actually quite a good character on this as well. His finish is quite nice, the X Factor. But unfortunately I can't look at him without thinking you had sex with CHYNA and then released a porn tape of it. Alright, let's get you out of the ring pretty fast. Really, like, Royal Rumbles descend into you just having to use strong attacks and grapples just to knock him over the ropes. We might be able to get you out. There we go. Whereas like in the SmackDown games, you could do certain moves that would just throw people over the top, and I quite like that. Oh my god, Bull Buchanan! Okay, Bull Buchanan originally was brought in as one of the Boss Man's friends, so much so that they actually had the same sort of outfit. And then he ended up joining Right to Censor. Really can't remember him. I have no idea what happened to Bull Buchanan, but I can't say he really was a major thing. Let's try and get rid of him. This is a good reason why I've actually set his strong attack as the kick, because it just is real easy to eliminate people. Oh god, Crash Ollie. What was it? Rumoured to be a weight of over 500 pounds. Crash Ollie's actually quite a sad story. He was recently found, or at least the last couple of years, he was found dead after having choked down on his own vomit in Stevie Richards' house. Apparently it was suicide. A very sad story, actually. I think you can very much say here that the pressures of working in the wrestling industry do take their toll. And I'm probably being massively disrespectful by what I'm doing to him. But let's try and eliminate him as quick as possible. Oh, cheers, Stephanie. I'll tell you what, come on, Crash, I really don't want to piss on your grave, mate. Just let me get rid of you. Okay, well, let Stephanie McMahon deal with him. Because we now need to deal with Lita. At this point, she was, of course, running around with the Hardy Boys. And actually quite a capable female wrestler, really. I mean, I use the term wrestle in the loosest sort of terms, but at least she would do moves off the turnbuckles. And a lot more proficient than a lot of the female talent they had at the time. Okay, let's get rid of Stephanie.
Eliminated.
Here we go with the filler talent again. Jerry Lawler, I can't remember if he's an unlockable or he's a buyable character. Of all the people, I can understand why you'd put Jerry Lawler in it, but seriously, you don't have enough bloody backlog of people. You just have to pay a little bit of extra money, and you could have put more wrestlers in the game. But then again, it's like I said, a lot of them were, I guess, were either working for ECW or probably TNA by that point. So you're actually limited with who you can use. Alright, we've better move on, try and eliminate Crash. Really? The jumping DDT is Crash's finisher. That sounds nothing like Crash Holly. Yeah, some of the finishes on this are a bit dodgy as well. Talking of that, yeah, here we go. Cactus Jack. Unlockable character, I think. Cactus Jack's finisher is the Mandible Claw, which of course is very wrong, but considering in the Cactus Jack days, if correct me if I'm wrong, it was a pulling pile driver. His moves and most of his taunts are pretty much just copies of Mankind, and he is kicking the crap out of me. If you count all, there are 3 Mick Foley characters in this. There's Mick Foley, there's Mankind, and then there's Cactus Jack. And then you've got the costume also for Dude Love. So if you were to make that character, you would end up with bloody 4 Mick Foleys. Bye, Mick Foley.
Eliminated.
Right, The Undertaker. This is actually quite weird considering that, because if memory serves, The Undertaker had only actually been back in the WWF the month or 2 before this came out. And he's gone already, so no need to talk about him anymore. Yeah, Grandmaster Sexay. I feel weird talking about that. Him, Scotty 2 Hotty and Rikishi all dancing at the end of each and every single fucking match was a bit weird for my liking. Oh great, now I'm being shamed by being defeated by Joey the Bloody King Lawler. Okay. Let's just ignore that happened and try and eliminate the bastard. On normal mode, they do block sometimes, whereas on hard and expert, they block all the time. And trying to get a half-decent hit off is actually quite hard. Eddie Guerrero. I always liked the guy, apart from they had that weird storyline where he was dating CHYNA. Died a couple of years ago, generally regarded as one of the better wrestlers of this generation. Or that generation, sorry. And then we've got the Godfather. How gimmicky can you get? Was once in a tag team with VENIS. So you had a porn star and a pimp, essentially. And then for some reason they put him with D'Lo Brown. And that was really an odd time. I actually, saying that, I used to remember, didn't the Godfather used to come out with people who they were pretending were prostitutes? Ah, okay, this is the joys of having First Blood turned on, so Eddie Guerrero's gone out because of that. Perry Saturn. Actually, I really like Perry Saturn. I thought in ECW, who's fucking fantastic. Not really utilised very well in the WWF, though. They more took the piss out of him. I think he had a feud with Chris Jericho at one point. Right. Out of all these people, I would preferably like to get rid of the Godfather first. Just because his face annoys me. But Perry Saturn's open, so we'll get rid of him.
Eliminated.
Oh god. The cat. This was it, like the WWF's pinnacle of having bra and panty matches as well. I think at the Royal Rumble for this year, January 2000 would have been when she had a topless match with someone, and I really cannot remember who it was. I think it was the first person to lose their bra. Yeah. Incidentally, yeah, that was the first pay-per-view I actually saw at WWF, because the 2000 Royal Rumble was picked up by what they call terrestrial TV. So it was actually shown on normal television in the UK. Admittedly, it was shown at 1 o'clock in the bloody morning, live, but still, it was a laugh. Okay, let's get rid of Godfather. Bye-bye, no more hoes for you.
Eliminated.
Now we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Okay, Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon. I can understand them at least being in this game, because they actually were in matches. Even, Vince McMahon's son, whose name escapes me right now. But her? No. No. Are you telling me you couldn't come up with a better character than her? Right, the fact that I put no points in defence is probably going to come back to bite me in the arse soon.
Eliminated.
And once again, another bloody Mick Foley character. This time, Mick Foley, pre-commissioner attire. I think they'd just started it at the point of release. So obviously that's why he's wearing pretty much the Cactus Jack outfit with bloody the Mankind lower half. Let's try and get rid of him as fast as possible. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen Mankind yet. Ooh, can we get rid of him? There's too many bloody people all bunched up in a corner. It always feels really cheap just to use like the strong attacks over and over, but to be honest, it's the best strategy for these. At least I guess I would sort of concede that in the SmackDown games there's a bit more skill involved, because you can use moves to get people out of the ring. Right, I really don't want the cat to be in the Final Four, so that's the next objective. I'm going to sort of bypass the fact I've got a special. Although she's not going to let me. Right, I might actually have to special her. Nope, she's not going to let me. Bloody hell. Okay, Linton McMahon just caused Mick Foley to bleed. Of course, because this is Mick Foley, he had time to quickly change into his outfit, run around back and come back out as Mankind. He's a magical fellow. Okay, almost had him. We're in the final 7. And I probably should not admit, like, out of all of those, the cat's probably the lowest on attitude. Please get out of the ring. You're a disgrace upon this game. Nothing personally wrong with Linda McMahon, but again, why the hell is she a character? It's almost as bad as the fact that Jim Ross is in this game. Right, an actual wrestler, thank God for that, and not a bad one either. Nothing really much to say about the Hardy Boys. They were good. Although, to be honest, once they got rid of the Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian feud, it just wasn't the same. You could be really nice and just get out of the ring. You're not helping me do this. You may also notice that my character is actually wearing boxing gloves. I don't know why, I felt like it. I was very silly when I created him. I mean, he's wearing the boss man's old police uniform outfit, for no other reason than I could. Twist of fate. Let's see if I can do the mandible claw. If the cat will let me. Interesting fact about this game as well. The Mandible Claw. There are different ratings to the different moves. The Mandible Claw is rated as an F, which is crap. A proper special move has a rating of an S, okay? There's also a move called the Iron Claw. It's exactly the same animation as the Mandible Claw, but I think it's an A rating. Don't ask me why they decided to do that. It makes no sense. Anyway, whilst I'm awaiting trying to eliminate someone again, let's do a bit of another trip down memory lane. Why is this game so good, even though it had that game-crippling bug, okay? We would spend hours upon hours playing bloody matches on this. It's like when you got 3 other people together, playing the Royal Rumbles was a lot of fun. Because, unlike like I'm doing now, where there's a high chance that I'm not going to get him eliminated, we would put on Expert and we would just have fun with seeing who we'd actually get. And we'd always complain because we'd end up with like being VENIS or something. There were some really embarrassing moments where like someone would accidentally get Jacqueline and then go on to win the entire thing, which is always quite funny. The story modes as well on this are very good. There's a separate one for each belt. And playing this has maybe made me want to record the hardcore belt as a full playthrough. I don't know how like successful that would be, but it might be a laugh. And of course do it as Cactus Jack though. Now, God's sake, someone eliminate the cat. She's on almost special, and I have no idea. It scares me that... Idiot. It scares me that her special might be good. It's not. It's probably a woman slap. I like the fact that no one actually cried sexism in this game either. Or, like, inappropriate conduct, because you have got men just beating the crap out of women on this. Okay, let's try and kick her out. If she'll let me. Oh, God's sake! I should have picked a fight with Matt Hardy. At least he was on danger a minute ago. This could be the bit where we get rid of her. Ooh, do. Oh, God's sake. CHYNA. CHYNA. Started off as Triple H's bodyguard. Had a relationship with Eddie Guerrero. Became a semi-porn star. Oh my God. I don't know words. I believe one of her DVD releases is called Backdoor to China, and that's enough to mentally scar me. Oh, fuck off, mankind. That could have been dangerous. Doing a power move so close to the ropes. Get out the ring! Get out the ring! Bye-bye! Right, final 4. VENIS, who had a delightful finisher known as the Money Shot, which I believe was just a frog splash. And instantly I regret my decision to try and kick him. Don't know what really happened to VENIS. I think they just retired his character. I can understand why the WWF keep the rosters so small anyway, but considering the amount of storylines they've got to sort of cope with. And apparently I am injured. I've got a bust up leg, which is not good. Right, who am I going to target? I could let her try and eliminate the cat, but this could take some time. Or no time at all. Okay, let's try and get rid of her now.
Eliminated.
There we go.
Eliminated.
My very stupid character has won a Royal Rumble. So yeah, that is WWF No Mercy for the N64. Still a classic, still fun, and it's still a great game. Now, how many people did I eliminate? 24. Not bad. So anyway, this has been Sometime With. Cheers to watching, and I will see you next time.